everybody, Edo here, and this is Cardtographer, not to be confused with Cartographers. And I'm not exactly sure if the name of the company is Cardtographer 2 or Heroes of Providence, or that's the base game, but these folks sent along a copy for me to check out, and this is a very light card-driven storytelling game. And actually, Pencil First Games has made The Siblings Trouble, which is a light card-driven storytelling game. So I was very curious to check it out, and I like the genre and all that stuff. This is a fairly mechanic-light game that has individual storytelling that's mostly timed. So I'll explain it, but I think it's going to appeal to very select, specific people who like this type of storytelling, and it's very different from like role-playing storytelling, in other words. So in this game, each player has a role: Templar, Archer, Arcanist, Rogue. They get a little backstory, and each of you has a little skill that manipulates the game a little bit, but not too much. So everyone's going to get dealt one of these cards. Either you could draft them or just deal them to each other, and that's who you are. You're that kind of character. And then you are dealt these cards. You're dealt a hand of cards, and there's typically a villain card types, hero card types, that's a wild, and then a location card type, which is here. So this is sort of the foundation of your storytelling will be these cards, and these are your main cards that you're trying to use. Your objective on your turn is essentially, within your hand, to pick a hero, villain, and a location, and then you have a minute or so to tell a story about that. And to successfully tell a story, you need to include the name of each. So this is, the hero is Tapana, the villain is Captain Deatheye, and this is at the Empire of Serena. And then you'll notice at the bottom, there are these bullets that are like different story elements. A check is pinched, a wise word is spoken, a warm embrace is felt. So the storytelling component is, on my turn, I assemble these cards, and then I need to tell a story where I use each of the titles and one of the details listed on the card. Succeeding or failing in this game is based on whether or not you can rapidly tell that story. You know, all the humor and fun of doing it, but like mechanically you must hit those names and hit those story beats. And if you can do that in that minute by yourself, you succeed. And then actually what you're doing is you start laying out the locations, and you're building a 3x3 9 cards. And if you have, ultimately the amount of success stories you have there are based on your, is how you score points to win the game. You know, it's just how many of those successful things you're doing. So what's inhibiting you? What else is there other than making these stories? Well, one, you need the cards. You need to have the 3 sets. So sometimes you'll be trading with other players to try to get a full set. But the other thing that's happening is you're getting dealt corruption cards. And corruption cards effectively fill up your hand, and if you have too many of them, they count as a loss, and they go down as a negative point. But the other thing you do is each one needs a certain type of hero to, a certain type of card, better said, to like resolve it, and then you need to tell a story about that. So in this case, this needs a healer, a hero that's a healer, and there's a drought, and I need to tell a story with this healer, Sister Aerie, and that drought. Same thing, by myself, I'm telling the story. So I'm managing telling shorter stories and longer stories based on these cards. Again, succeeding or failing, it's just whether or not you can do it in the time limit. You'll also draw raid cards at some point. This is your most collaborative card, but basically the raid card gets played, everyone puts up a card, and then you have to say what you do in the say what you do with that card in the raid as like you do a sort of story round. The hero came out and did this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. And if you can get all the way around, you succeed. If you can't, you fail. Mechanically, okay, card art's pretty. Lots of fantasy in here, interesting characters, interesting elements, interesting things to build into stories. And the mechanics of how you win and lose effectively works. I think the biggest challenge here is it's very restricted storytelling. Like what it's doing is it's asking you to try and sew these specific bullet points together in a lot of time. I just think some people are going to like that more than others. I don't mind it. I played with players who don't like it. It's a little high pressure. In some games we just ended up removing the timer element, which sort of is how you win or lose, but at least people weren't getting, panicked. I also think if you're playing with folks who aren't sort of into storytelling, it does give you a lot of steps along the way. So I do think it sort of it engages in that rate. But I think combining limited time with rigid storytelling, I think is the biggest challenge it has, and the biggest splitter with the folks that played it. I like any opportunity to play a quick game that tells stories. I think this is one of them. But again, there are over the years I've reviewed various games of this nature, some of which are more freeform, some of which have more mechanics. This is pretty structured in the way it's presented. But pretty small box. I don't know the price, but probably easy to check out. It was sent for free, but I can't imagine it's too expensive. So if you're into storytelling games and you want something a little different, a little fast, pick up and play. I think it's there. Again, if some of those dynamics don't sound like the kind of storytelling you like, might not be for you. So, Cardtographer. Hey everybody, Edo here, and thanks for watching Gaming with Edo. Reviews over here on this playlist, League and Insider videos over here on this one. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But most importantly, play some great games. Thanks.